Welcome to ChessWire. I'm your host, Adam Carter, with your chess news. Today is Tuesday, September 6th, 2022. In the headlines today, Magnus Carlson quits Sinqfield Cup in St. Louis after defeat to Hans Niemann. Also, a quick shout out to GM Ben Finegold. Happy birthday. All this today on ChessWire. Now let's go ahead and get to your headlines. First, starting out with the tweet from Magnus Carlson. This was yesterday, September 5th at 1 p.m. He said, "I've withdrawn from the tournament. I've always enjoyed playing at the St. Louis Chess Club, and I hope to be back in the future." Now, this set off a firestorm all over the chess internet, and I think that the main conclusion that most people have come to is that he is, in a way, alluding here that Hans Niemann had cheated during their game. Let's go ahead and take a look at the interview here from the Sinqfield Cup post Hans Niemann's draw with Aronian, and the interviewer asks Hans what he thinks of Magnus's withdrawal from the Sinqfield tournament.
Considering the opening chances I got and the mistakes they made, but you know, converting is a skill, and at least I can play decent chess.
Mm-hmm. You're currently on 2 points out of 3, so your lead has
3
been.
out of 4. Yeah.
You're on 2 out of 3. All of Magnus Carlsen's results will be annulled.
But I get the rating, right?
You do get the rating.
Okay,
yes.
then I don't care. Yeah. Really?
Yes.
Oh, that's pretty ridiculous. But wow. So, okay. Yeah.
See, now there's a little clue there. Magnus drops out, so he gets the rating. Magnus's rating goes down. The ratings change. FIDE ratings change. But it's going to be really hard for Hans to win this tournament, if not all, even possible. I'm starting to feel like, I'm not going to say he's cheating, and I'm going to withdraw from the tournament so he can't win and he loses the points, and this is how I'm going to punish him for embarrassing the hell out of me. Well, I'm alluding that he cheated, so it doesn't look like I'm being a spoiled brat. I mean, whoa. It's starting to look a little possible here when you start adding things up, but let's keep going.
Yeah, I see. I guess he just didn't want me to win the tournament, so he had to leave, you know? He knew that would happen.
I guess that was the only reason, yes?
Can't think of anything else.
Well, Hans, you think that he has some kind of personal thing against you? Why did you mention that?
No, I have no idea. It's obviously a sarcastic comment, yeah.
Okay.
Because, okay, out of the 4 games, you know, he's like helping Nepo because he lost. You know, yeah, I have no idea what about anything. It's just, of course, I would prefer for the win to count. Let's just leave it at that.
Well, it counts for your rating. You're still over 2,700, and you're still putting on an impressive tournament here at the Sinqfield Cup.
It's okay. It's okay. Considering my current rating, you guys might think it's impressive, but I'm always striving for more.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, Hans, thanks for joining us here in the studio, certainly. We look forward to the remainder of your games, and good luck in them.
Thank you.
Okay, so this is just starting to look really bad for Magnus if anybody's actually paying attention. And then meanwhile, you get some outrageous tweets here from Emil Chess, who I think he's the head of FIDE, and he says, no matter how this tournament went, Magnus Carlson never quit. He must have had a compelling reason, or at least he believes he has it. Don't call him a sore loser, disrespectful. I shall not speculate on the reasons of his withdrawal, but probably would expect TD to air them. So this is kind of bizarre coming from the head of FIDE. And then Hikaru and Eric Hansen and a few other people went on to speculate that this, when Hans said, well, I looked at this game between Carlson versus So back in a Blitz game and so-and-so in London or something, that Carlson had played the Nimzo Indian G3, where you fianchetto your bishop on G2. And they said this game didn't exist. But Nigel Short tweets out, M. Carlson, W. So, Kolkata in 2019. This is a G3 Nimzo by transposition. The fact that Hans Niemann could not recall whether this game was played in London, Kolkata, or Ouagadougou is proof of absolutely nothing to my mind. Playing the world champion is not a geography quiz. And I went ahead and looked this game up myself over here, and this is it. Carlson versus So. We can go ahead and crank it all the way back, and it's like move 5. We get G3 out of the, here's an IMSO. And yeah, move 5, G3. There it is. Like he said he prepped for. We get to Reddit here. The whole Hans Niemann Magnus Carlson withdrawal saga so far. Magnus begins storm by tweeting the withdrawal. Note the Jose Moreno clip. We talked about that. That's the soccer coach saying, if I'm in trouble, I'm in big trouble. 3, Hikaru is streaming and immediately starts speculating. He starts with a mild take where he implies that Magnus quit due to Hans potentially cheating. 15 minutes later, and here Hikaru has given up keeping his mouth shut and lets it loose, now plainly stating that he believes Magnus withdrew because Hans cheated, sending the chess world into hysterics. Emil Sadovsky, Director General of FIDE, sends out a wild tweet with huge implications, which we read earlier. It emerges that Hans has been banned before on chess.com for cheating. Here, Hikaru mentions it without technically doing so. And that's true. When Hans was a lot younger, I mean, he was a minor. He was streaming, trying to get views, whatnot, and he was cheating on chess.com, got banned. But I don't see how that's, he's decided to take his cheating career to Mission Impossible standards. It further emerges, there is even a clip of Nepo on his own stream from over a year ago talking about Hans using a bot. Nepo gives an interview after drawing his game against Wesley So and gives quite a reaction. He tells the interviewer what he thinks about from Hans' win against Carlson and says that it was more than impressive, with this kind of like wry grin on his face, again alluding to there may have been some unfair play. Going back to the interview Hans gave after beating Magnus in round 3, he mentioned how he miraculously looked at an obscure line that happened in the game and that he had only looked at it because Magnus had played it against Wesley So in the 2018 London Chess Classic. Drama frog investigators and Hikaru now realize no such games existed, which isn't true. We just found it. Nigel Short pointed that out to us. During this whole saga, Wesley So, among many others, including Levy, Jordan, Van Forest, Chance Sagarson, and more, has been in Hikaru's chat commenting about various things, among those stating, "I wasn't even in London in 2018, confirming the previous point. So this goes on, and there's a lot of people making reactions, and these people are all content creators, so of course they want the biggest drama. They want, let's find every way this is, them cheating, so that way we get the most attention, so on and so forth, without like really doing any fact checking or waiting for anything else to come out. Let's just get everybody into a frenzy. Fabiano, during his post-game interview with the St. Louis Chess Club, also alludes to others knowing the reason why Magnus withdrew. Watch this as well. He kind of gave us a smile. He said, I'm not going to make any allegations or start anything, and I'm not going to talk about it anymore. GM Tang comments why he and Hans had stopped talking, and he really doesn't go into why, so it's just kind of a pointless link. The best thing in here, though, is this Grandmaster Jacob Agard, a well-known trainer and chess author who previously worked with Hans, published a long blog post defending Hans and talking about his personal experience with his training, and says that I have seen nothing out of the ordinary in the last 2 days. Hikaru's coverage of the drama has been bizarre and ridiculous, and Hans' moves were nothing special, among many other things. So I went over here and checked it out, and there were a lot of good points that GM Jacob made during this blog post. And I've seen nothing out of the ordinary in the last 2 days. Hans playing reasonably well against opponents that are not playing that well. I also didn't see anything out of the ordinary from Carlson. Entitlement, lack of responsibility, lack of accountability, a Norwegian troll army ready to defame a man who only 400 days ago was a minor. If you want to read the whole thing, it's very interesting, and it makes a good case for why Hans did not cheat, and this is more about Magnus being angry and upset and wanting to take the tournament win away from Hans. So there you have it. You can come to your own conclusions. There's a lot of resources here that you can find to dig a little bit deeper if you want to. Like I said, I don't think we're going to hear any more about this from the Carlson team. This was just Magnus Carlson, I think, being spoiled and upset and wanted to take the win away from Hans, and that's what he did. And he can do that because, well, he's Magnus Carlson, and he's got a lot of people who are going to defend him. So there you go. Thank you for watching and listening to ChessWire. Have a good one.